Let's start. Thank you for being here today. I'm Ren, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to today's AMA session. I represent CoinRabbit, an all-in-one investment platform offering crypto loans, crypto wallets, and crypto exchanges. And our mission is to make crypto accessible and easy for everyone. And today we are joined by PIVX, an open source decentralized peer-to-peer currency that features advanced user data protection, community governance mechanisms, a proof of stake consensus algorithm, and multi-purpose masternodes. So yeah, thank you for making this session happen. Can you please introduce yourself to the community and share a little bit about your role in PIVX?
Thank you, Aaron. Hi, everybody. My name is Jeff. I represent the project PIVX as the lead of business development. I've actually been in PIVX for quite some time, roughly since the rebrand 2017, where I've volunteered and assisted in a few other roles. And as of recent, I've now taken up to do all the business development work, where I deal with partnerships such as the one we have with CoinRabbit, exchanges, exchange listings, and more. So at the same time, I'm also looking at growing merchant adoption and various other use cases for PIVX as a whole. As you know, PIVX has been around for quite some time. And our new goal now is obviously mass adoption and bringing privacy to the people. And that's pretty much what my role is, to grow it and bring a platform for everyone to be able to access PIVX.
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. And also, I can introduce myself. So, I'm a marketing specialist at CoinRabbit, and I'm passionate about creating content and brainstorming creative ideas to help us grow. And I'm just glad to be part of contributing to the future of industry. So, yeah, thank you again for making time to connect today. So, let's start with the basics. PIVX has been a pioneer in privacy-focused proof-of-stake blockchains for quite some time, and in a space where privacy coins continue to evolve, what makes PIVX stand out from the rest? So what are its key advantages that set it apart?
Great question. There are actually quite a lot of privacy coins. And PIVX in this space has always been an innovator. Actually, if most people recall, PIVX back in 2017 had a different privacy protocol called ZeroCoin. And actually, we were one of the first innovators to improve it and identify quite a few risks involved. And by doing so, we became the first ever proof of stake coin to add a new privacy protocol to us called ZK Snox. In PIVX, we call it Shield. So that's pretty much the first ever implementation of this privacy protocol in a proof of stake blockchain, which is pretty amazing. It sets us above the rest. Another amazing feature that we have is, our privacy is optional. So that also makes us regulatory compliant. So what we mean by that is that you can either spend default PIVX, or you can choose to operate and send private PIVX known as shielding. The nice thing about it as well, they're both interoperable, which means that you can actually send from a private address to a transparent address. It's known as de-shielding, or from a transparent back to a private address, and vice versa. So there's that useful friendliness, and being private doesn't mean you're forced to only use private addresses. Another amazing feature that sets us arrest, being as a cryptocurrency, it's very hard to pay for listings, pay for development, pay team members. So we actually have a self-funded treasury, which also operates through our DAO. So every month there's a set amount of PIVX that's available for anyone, including yourself, to submit a proposal, request funding, and based on the masternode holders, based on their voting outcome, that can determine if your proposal passes or not. And I think another winner that sets PIVX aside is the fact that we are proof of stake. A lot of privacy coins are actually proof of work, and that's very resource intensive. In PIVX being a proof of stake is quite unique. It's an easier access for many people to support the network. You don't need exceptional hardware. And lastly, I think is our ease of access. Recently we've been working on a new light wallet, our team at PIVX Labs called My PIVX Wallet. If anyone ever takes a chance to look at it, we've simplified everything to make it as easy as possible for anyone to use, and there's more features. And that's something we focus on because, crypto is very technical. Some people find it very hard to adapt to and use.
Yeah.
And, that is something that we are now targeting because we understand that privacy is a human right. We want to fight for people's privacy, their financial data privacy. And the best way to do that is provide a tool that is ease of access for everyone. So there's quite a few points I just mentioned, but yeah, these to me are why PIVX stands out amongst other privacy coins.
Thank you for all those clarifications and very detailed answer. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And let's move on to another question. And I'm sure that our listeners will want to know, how does PIVX manage to maintain transaction privacy while also ensuring it stays compliant with all those evolving regulations?
Great question. Especially now that's very relevant to my position as the business development manager, because commonly when I'm listing PIVX on exchanges or forming, alliances, some of these countries where these organizations are, they may not be friendly to privacy coins because the ultimate, expectation of privacy coin is that there's no way to retrieve these transactions. Luckily, PIVX, okay, well, we'll start from the beginning. So our privacy, it's guaranteed. We have something called memo fields, and this basically it's the implementation through our ZK snarks, which is also known as Shield, which is as I said before, we're the first proof of stake coin to have this. And when through this mathematics, and that this is how privacy is guaranteed. But now with regulatory environments, we have a solution which is known as our viewing keys, sapling viewing keys. So essentially, a user can provide these to trusted third parties. Maybe it's your accountant, or maybe it's someone querying a transaction that you've made. And this will pretty much allow them to securely view this information on the transaction, because it's not public. So that's how we navigate around and being, to be compliant with regulation.
Okay, yeah, I think that it is a big topic, and my next question is related to the snarks, and you have already mentioned it today. Like, yeah, we know that PIVX utilizes the snarks for private transactions. And can you walk us through how this technology works and why it is considered a more secure or like more efficient option compared to other privacy solutions out there?
Yeah, no problem. So it is quite technical, and that's why I always advise people to review our website. We actually have a detailed white paper on how it works. But pretty much the technology behind ZK Snarks, it allows our private transactions through our Shield protocol. And what this does is it protects it anonymizes the sender, the recipient, and the amount. So pretty much all that information, which you usually see on a block explorer, becomes completely nullified. And that's the major benefit of our privacy protocol. Also, when you spend PIVX on via Shield, it creates a cryptographic proof. This is known as a ZK snark. And what this does is this proves to the blockchain that the transaction is valid, and the nodes and to anyone else securing the network, without exposing any of your details. So that's another key feature of our privacy protocol. So it's all mathematics. It's actually far superior to many privacy protocols because it also doesn't need mixing. So that's an issue that many privacy protocols in the past had, where they had to mix coins, and they're also limited by denominations. That's another feature we had in our prior privacy protocol, where users were limited to spending denominations, for example, 10 PIVX or 50 PIVX. Whereas with our ZK Snarks implementation, it's universal. Send 1 PIVX, 1001, whatever you want. So that's another great feature. Also, it's having succinct proofs. It's very fast to confirm. And another amazing one, which we've been speaking about recently, but I guess I'll inform everyone here, is we also become the first cryptocurrency to enable staking via the privacy protocol, which essentially means you can support the network and earn private shielded PIVX. So that's another major industry first for PIVX, and I think it really shows off our position as being far superior to many other privacy solutions. Thank you for that question. I think it's a really good one.
Congratulations on the last announcement. And, even though it is like a difficult technological aspect, now after your answer, it's much more clear, at least for me. And now I think we can move on to your proof of stake model. So how does PIVX proof of stake model contribute to security and decentralization compared to proof of work based privacy coins? You have already mentioned something about it, but I want to dive deeper in this topic.
Sure, let's go into a bit depth. So regarding proof of work now, basically proof of work like Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies, they require computational power. So this is very energy intensive. It's very expensive. I mean, back in the day, you could mine with a basic Intel Pentium D. Right now, even our most powerful gaming PCs struggle to solve a single block. So essentially, it's a very hard barrier to entry, which leads to a very broad amount of centralization. Actually, if you look at the mining pools of Bitcoin, you'll see that a lot of them control a large amount of the mining power, which is, that's a security concern when you have a large entity controlling so much of the mining power. And, with PIVX, our security is tied to the amount of staked coins. And what I mean by that is, so for example, that's our supply right now is 90 million coins. They would need to actually acquire more than half of that and start staking it to actually compromise the network. Now, that's one, there's not that amount of PIVX for sale on exchanges. Two, that's extremely expensive. So it's economically prohibitive. It doesn't make sense to actually do that. And also, if you had to keep acquiring that amount of coins, the price would just keep going up and up and up to the point that they cannot even afford to do such an attack. So also another thing that aids to the decentralization is, like I mentioned earlier, proof of work, it's a hard barrier. There's a big barrier to entry. The average person cannot mine, the average person cannot assist the network, be it so expensive to take part and start mining. With PIVX, you can start staking with a single PIVX, which is 15, 16 cents at the moment, and you're already supporting the network. And actually, there have been people who have staked small amounts who've actually earned a block reward. And having that easier barrier to entry where it's such a small minimum amount to stake, that further allows it to be more decentralized, that anyone all over the globe, can actually afford 1 or 2 PIVX or whatever amount they're willing to purchase and start, supporting the network. And it's also energy efficient. You can run the entire PIVX network of, the wallet of a Raspberry Pi and start staking from there. Something that's impossible for any cryptocurrency that requires mining. So that's pretty much the breakdown of it.
Okay, thank you for that detailed explanation. And in the very beginning, you have mentioned PIVX masternode. So I'm curious to ask, what are the benefits of running a PIVX masternode, and how can different users participate?
Yeah, no worries. Actually, I mentioned a few things. So one, if you recall, I mentioned the master nodes, and then I also mentioned like staking and all that. So PIVX actually has 2 ways of supporting the network. The one is the staking, which is you just hold any amount of PIVX, you leave your wallet online, and you start supporting the network. And if you manage to solve a block, you get rewarded some PIVX. Now, master nodes is, it's a great way to actually earn PIVX. Roughly the APY is about 13% per annum right now. It changes based on how many masternodes are running. So to run a masternode, you would essentially need to buy or hold 10,000 PIVX, and you would set up a server or use a hosting provider. There's quite a few masternode hosting providers, and you temporarily lock. The reason I say temporarily is because you can spend the PIVX is always yours. You can spend it anytime you want and disable the masternode. There's no limitation on that. But you just need the 10,000 PIVX and the server running, and basically your masternode will support the network, and you will start earning PIVX. Another great part is I did mention earlier that we have the self-funded treasury. So being a masternode owner essentially means that you have a say in how our treasury is spent, because every masternode is equivalent to 1 vote. That can be a yes or a no. So if you feel that the proposal being submitted right now for whatever it is, if you feel that it's not fair, you can vote no. We have a forum where you can discuss it. So that's another amazing way. You have a bit of an authoritative role when you come along and you invest in a masternode, and that's just one way that we see it. It attracts a lot of new people, a lot of ideas, and it's just a great way to support the network. And I think it's a really good feature to be part of a DAO, to have masternodes. Yeah, it's very easy to participate. If anyone ever has any questions, our Discord or even our website, there's very detailed guides, and it's quite simple to set up.
Thanks for sharing that. And maybe it's time to talk more about real-world applications or PVX, just to get like more proper understanding and summarize everything that you have already mentioned. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit more about this topic.
Yeah, this one's quite exciting for me. It's actually a focus area right now with my role in PIVX. So we're seeking a lot of merchant integration. One of our awesome ones, which I use quite frequently, is like Travala. They're a very big cryptocurrency travel site, one of the biggest actually. And you can, for example, book your flights, book hotels, and pay in PIVX and be rewarded as well. We're focused on the real world use case. I mean, just like we're on your site, CoinRabbit, people can come ahead and use PIVX as collateral and get loans. I think that's a really awesome feature as well. Another thing as well is, for merchants, they have this, like I mentioned prior, the transactional freedom to choose private or transaction PIVX. Transparent PIVX. Apologies. Yeah, that's another great feature as well that we have, because you never know where what country the person's operating. It could be one that's got crime, got privacy issues, and that's another support mechanism. And internally, we're working on quite a few amazing features. Like I mentioned before, our My PIVX wallet by PIVX Labs. They've got a few other tools that they've developed for adoption, such as PIVX.promo. It's like a faucet to earn in PIVX and invite friends and get PIVX. Very low barrier to pay out. I think after one or two clicks, you can already get PIVX to your wallet. And then another amazing one is we have PIV cards, which pretty much every not every merchant, but quite a large amount of merchants, you can buy gift cards, for example, Amazon or whatever, using PIVX directly on that platform. So that's one thing as well. But there's quite a few lists. I think we will see a lot more user adoption in this year coming, because we've actually formed a nice partnership with a payment gateway called Now Payments. And we're going to be working on something exciting, which I cannot reveal yet, but it's going to be really great for a lot of real world use. But yeah, watch this space. There's a lot more coming.
Yeah, I can see that you work really hard on PVX being adopted in different spheres and different directions. And also, how do you see PVX integrating into the rapidly growing DeFi ecosystem? And are there any maybe exciting integrations or developments coming up?
So from this side, it comes more, I think the big focus is for PIVX being a privacy coin. Being in DeFi, there's a lot of money that's being made. And, having a lot of money, especially on a transparent blockchain, it has its risks. I'm sure you've seen some articles where people have had, some run-ins with criminals or whatnot. And I think that PIVX has a, tried and tested privacy protocol that is paramount to, keeping your funds safe. And one way to be part of the, decentralized finance is to secure your decentralized finance. And I do believe that's where PIVX plays a pivotal role. On top of that, as more centralized exchanges, they undergo scrutiny, they undergo hacks and all that. We're seeing a lot of decentralized exchanges come up, and PIVX being a privacy coin also has a big role to play there. It provides people, once again, with the freedom of knowing that no one's prying into their private data. It's the same thing I always say to people, like they wouldn't show their bank statement to a stranger, but you're okay, suddenly the whole world seeing your crypto balances. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, that I think is the two major roles that PIVX has. As for upcoming integrations, right as of now, I know that we are working on more wallet integrations. I think we're having a talk with Edge Wallet, which has quite a few amazing DeFi features built in there. That's still a work in progress. But yeah, as more comes, we'll definitely be announcing.
And what are the key milestones for PIVX in 2025? And continuing this topic, are there any major upgrades, or maybe it's a good time to share some partnership announcements with us? You have already mentioned some of them, but maybe you still have something in mind?
Yeah, so sorry, I keep mentioning a lot of the details in all the other questions.
Very interesting.
So there's a lot to talk about. I can talk forever. But basically, PIVX, one of our biggest milestones, like I mentioned, I gave a sneak peek before. I mentioned that we have our, Shield protocol, which uses ZK Snarks. And we were the first proof of stake blockchain to add it. Right now, we are pretty much on track to still be the first proof of stake blockchain, and any blockchain actually, to actually incorporate an earn feature using this. What I mean by that is you can actually stake your private shielded PIVX, and that's going to be a major milestone. I'm not sure of the timeline, but it does sound like it could be a very well success for 2025, that it could be completed. And I think that would be one of the biggest milestones for PIVX. And that's something I've got used to. It's being a volunteer in PIVX, we're always reaching these industry firsts. And being altcoin, a lot of people they have their eyes on tokens and all that. So I'm really proud that PIVX keeps no matter how the markets sway and all that, we keep developing, we keep building, and that's going to be something major that we're looking forward to. Our PIVX Labs team, they've worked on quite a few amazing things. I'm probably going to get this wrong, so it's better that we ask them directly sometime. But they worked on a decentralized chat that incorporates the My PIVX Wallet login, so people can actually chat via that. A better description would probably be found on our X posts. But yeah, that's and upcoming partnerships. We're currently actually working on one with a very old wallet called Coinomi. We've recently announced our partnership with them. We're still ironing out the details, but there may be a first ever for Coinomi and first ever for PIVX incorporated into their wallet. I cannot share details about that, unfortunately, but it's pretty exciting. Once papers are signed and everything, we can start dropping hints. But we're always building. There's a lot that's happening behind the scenes, and even like we formed our partnership with you guys. It's great to find these service providers that bring something new, that bring something tangible to the crypto industry. And PIVX just wants to be part of all of that. Been here since 2016, and yeah, we're still building. Still feels young. There's a lot to do.
Yeah, and I will hope that we will hear more details in the future about all those coming partnerships. And also, we have a very diverse audience. So maybe for those new to PIVX, could you summarize, like, what is the best way to get involved in PIVX, like whether through staking, participating in governance, or contributing to development? So what do you think about this one?
So the absolute best way to get involved with PIVX, PIVX is a DAO. So what that means is that there's no barrier to entry. Everyone can come along and prove themselves that, hey, I have this skill, I have this, I can contribute this, or perhaps even find something that PIVX is lacking. And they can take advantage of the self-funded treasury to actually submit proposals and bring their ideas to fruition and get funded for that. That's what PIVX is. That's the beauty of having a DAO, where there's no central entity who says you can or cannot do this. And that's a great way to get involved. Another thing is, PIVX is filled with a lot of sorry, I was about to say ambassadors. We actually do have an ambassador program we're working on, which is actually an amazing way to get involved. If anyone wants to spread the word of PIVX, show others in their region how to accept it as payment, we have the tools, we have the partnerships, we have the connections. We have these programs that we're working on to, get the ball rolling with that too. Another thing is, if you want to earn PIVX, we have two mechanisms. It's the staking, which, like I said, there's no minimum. You can put one PIVX in. It might be quite hard to get a reward at first, but who knows? You might get lucky. So that is one. If you want to start supporting the network and start voting on proposals, even your own proposal, you can always create a masternode, which would cost 10,000 PIVX. But yeah, I think another thing which I didn't mention is, because we are growing so much, we actually are hiring. We are looking for developers. We are looking for people to extend our project, to work on it, to improve it. So to get involved, I think join our Discord. If you don't mind, the link we can post sometime, but it is discord.pivx.org. We'll direct you straight there, and just share what you can contribute. I think that's the best way forward. It's how I joined PIVX as well. Just mention what I'm good at, and you're
So thank you, Jeff, and you provided incredibly detailed answers to all my questions. And let me briefly see the chat. So, I can't see any questions there. So maybe you have any questions related to CoinRabbit, and maybe
yes.
you are also interested about knowing more about our platform, so I can share some info with you.
Yes, please. I've actually, you have asked me such great questions. I think it's going to be a really good listen to those that haven't heard about PIVX, or people in other time zones and all that. So thank you for taking the time to ask all those questions. I think it would be great to, there's a lot of people from PIVX that may listen to this and they would want to know about CoinRabbit.
Thank you for sharing all those incredible answers, because it's much more clear for me now, even all those difficult technological aspects. So yeah.
You're welcome. So, well, let's start. I got a few questions that I did write down for you that just give people a brief idea. So, as you know, like a lot of people haven't really may not have heard about CoinRabbit, and this would be an opportunity for them to learn. So, like, what's the reason, like the inspiration behind the creation of CoinRabbit?
So the very idea behind CoinRabbit came from a very simple but widespread problem in the crypto space. So how to access liquidity without selling assets, and we saw people struggling with the same issue over and over again. So imagine you are holding your Bitcoin or PIVX long term because you believe in its future, but then life just happens and you need funds for an emergency, for some business opportunity, or even just a personal investment. So you can sell your crypto and potentially miss out on future gains, or go through a slow, complicated lending process, this credit checks and paperwork. And that's where CoinRabbit was born. So we just thought, like, what if you could just use your crypto as collateral instantly and without all this hassle? And that is exactly what we built. A very seamless way to borrow stable coins while keeping your crypto. So there are no credit checks and no delays. You are supposed to deposit crypto and then get instant liquidity in USDT or USDC or other crypto assets. And then you're ready. You can just repay and get your crypto back. So it's just very, very simple. And then they have started to develop as an all-in-one investment platform, also offering crypto wallets and crypto exchanges. So it is very convenient to do all those operations in one place.
It's amazing. Thanks for that detailed answer. And with all this, PIVX is included, so people can actually use PIVX as collateral. That's great, especially for people like me who I wish I had more crypto, but I don't want to sell my PIVX, right?
Yeah, we are very happy to have PIVX available on CoinRabbit for deposits, for crypto wallets, and for exchanges. Like every kind of services, you can find it in CoinRabbit. So yeah, you can easily deposit your PIVX, you can store it in our wallet, and you can exchange it for other cryptocurrencies, all within one platform.
Oh, that's amazing. So, like, if we had to break that down further, what's like a typical real world use case for CoinRabbit?
Yeah, I think I have already touched this a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I have already mentioned, the most common use case for CoinRabbit is to help people access liquidity quickly, whether for business expansion, buying a home. Instead of selling your crypto assets, you just can get the funds without losing your crypto and its future potential. But it's not just about emergencies, and we have lots of traders and investors who can use CoinRabbit to stay nimble. So let's say you spot a new opportunity and want to take advantage of it, but don't want to sell your existing holdings. So you can just go to our platform, get an instant liquidity, and seize that opportunity. And also, they have lots of clients who use CoinRabbit for everyday solutions like paying bills or covering some everyday expenses. So there are many, many options, and each of them is tailored to different needs that businesses or clients could have.
That's amazing. Thanks for that insight. So, like, out of all these services, what's available to PIVX holders right now? Like, what can we as a Pivian use PIVX for on your site?
Yeah, as I have already mentioned, we have listed PIVX, and we are very happy to have it available on deposits, on wallets, and for exchanges. So yeah, you can do all those kinds of operations very conveniently in one place. Just very, very easy and very quick.
Okay, That's great. You actually, your answers are so in depth. It's covering most of my questions. Thank you for that, Irene. So, I mean, you've answered quite a few of them already, because I was going to ask you about, what problems do you aim to solve in the crypto space? And it seems that you've thought about that quite hard, and you've provided a service which essentially allows people to acquire more crypto without selling their existing crypto in case the price does go up, right? I think that's pretty awesome. But are there any like new features that you guys are currently implementing that you may want to just share a bit about?
Well, right now we are focused on improving the CoinRabbit platform to make it even more fast, even more smooth, and even more efficient. And yeah, right now we are working on making our transactions even quicker. And also, we are also expanding support for more cryptocurrencies to give users more options. And right now, we offer over 3,000 cryptocurrencies, and they are constantly adding more and more to give our users the best conditions for making their crypto transactions. And also, yeah, we have one exciting update. So we are looking forward to launch our mobile app, which will make managing crypto on the go easier than ever. So yeah, we are actively working on this right now, and we will definitely keep our community updated on X. So yeah, stay tuned. And I think that's actually it's everything that we um, want to develop. And also, maybe I need to mention that right now they are like rebranding CoinRabbit not as just crypto lending service, but more like all-in-one crypto investment platform, because we believe that simplicity of making all those operations in one place, it is very, very convenient and very, very effective way to handle crypto.
That's awesome. I hope that we will be able to discuss and see if PIVX is also integrated in your mobile app as well. That'd be really good.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So another thing, just to enlighten everyone else more about your service and everything. So there are competitors, obviously, in this space with crypto loans and that. Is there anything that you guys provide that's different to them, that's unique to CoinRabbit?
Well, I'm keeping to say this word simplicity, simplicity. They're super simple. They're super simple. But that's like this is our main characteristics, and they are very proud to be that simple. And many crypto lending platforms require lengthy applications and credit checks, and you are not supposed to get the funds in that quick way. But our main mission and our main solution is to give this simplicity to our users and to make this process as easy as possible. So yeah, I see that simplicity is our main idea that differentiate us from others platforms. And also, we offer no limitations on loan periods, so they are very flexible in this direction, and our clients have the freedom to borrow for as long as they need. So they have all the control of their loans, like everything in their hands. And also, they are just proud of our 24/7 customer support, but I don't think that's like this is really differentiating, because I'm sure that most of platforms also have very dedicated and very efficient customer support, but we are just proud of it. And yeah.
You'd be surprised, actually. I think it is something to be proud of, and to say it's a differentiating factor to have active support. So, like, yeah, I mean that's really great. And I think another question, which I think is what a lot of people want to ask, because you guys are obviously going to be handling quite a bit of PIVX should someone seek a loan. So, how is the collateral, that the users provide protected?
Yeah, I think that this is the most important question to cover. And in general, keeping user collateral safe is our like top priority. So they see it as our main mission to keep our users collateral safe. And we use a cold storage custody system to store funds offline and protect them from potential threats. And yeah, they have our special risk control system, which continuously verifies transactions. And there are all those layers of protection, and altogether they offer a reliable way to borrow assets while keeping crypto secure. And however, we can also discuss this topic in a little bit another direction. So you can protect your collateral not only from some potential threats, but also from unnecessary liquidations. And yeah, there could be the situation if the user's collateral value drops, but we try to make everything possible so not to make this collateral liquidated. So nobody will liquidate our user's deposit just like that. It just doesn't work this way. And our users receive real-time alerts via SMS and email, so they have enough time to take actions. And also, they are able to add more collateral to maintain a safe margin. And for even more protection, like for extra protection, we also have auto increase feature, which automatically adjusts collateral to market conditions. So there are no risks of liquidation without constant monitoring, and our user can just sleep peacefully and know that his or her assets, they are always secure with this auto increase feature. So yeah, there are lots of layers, there are lots of work that we do in this direction to make the user's collateral absolutely protected in every possible way.
That's actually really great to hear, and I'm happy that PIVX is on a platform that takes the the security of the user's collateral very very importantly. We live in quite a digital world right now where a lot of exchanges and third parties have gone through some things that's caused loss of funds. So I'm really happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing all that insight. I've asked quite a few great questions. I think it's been really good. I just want to ask one final question just to conclude. I know you mentioned already about the mobile app, which I would love to see PIVX incorporated into. We can discuss that whenever you're free. But is there any other plans that you guys have for the future?
So right now we are working on localizing our platform to make it accessible to even more users on different languages around the world. So our main plan for now is to make as many people as possible to take advantage of everything CoinRabbit has to offer. But also, yeah, we just want to continue to develop as an all-in-one investment platform, not only crypto lending, even though it is our main product. And we are just excited to build a financial ecosystem where borrowing, storing, and exchanging assets happens effortlessly and all in one place. So all the control and all the possibilities for crypto potential is on the hands of our clients. But also, in this constantly changing world, we are just keeping our fingers on the pulse, and they're ready to adapt and they're ready to grow. So, yeah.
That's a good strategy. I'm wishing you guys all the best for the future, and thank you again for seeking us out for a listing and being a partner of ours. It's been really insightful.